Do you ever feel like you're not creating enough, even though you're posting 10 reels a week, 20 reels a week, 10 TikToks a day, yet somehow it still feels like it's not enough? Your creativity has essentially become another checklist in the hustle culture machine. Hustle culture is creating for the sake of productivity, for external validation, even for like monetization value, or even checking off goals. Creation culture is creating for fulfillment, for impact, or simply because you love to create. I know for many of us, we get pulled into content creation, or we start content creation because we just want to be creative and we like it and we do it from a place of joy. But as we scroll through social media and we see what other people are creating, we begin to compare ourselves to other creators. And not only are we comparing ourselves to other creators, then we start seeing all the videos that are like, do this to go viral, do this if you want your videos to reach X, Y, and Z. Instead of just staying in a creative flow, we end up pulling ourselves into this like hustle culture of content creation. There's so much pressure on creative people to monetize anything that they are creating. I see it all the time, even when I'm like doom scrolling. There's people that are simply sharing their creative things like painting or like knitting. And in the comments, you see people saying like, you should sell this. Though I don't disagree, it would be great money, but just because someone is making something and they're creative with it, that doesn't mean that they want to sell it or monetize off of it. Some people simply just love creating and then sharing the videos of the thing that they are creating. They don't really want to sell something from that thing. But that's not everybody, obviously. Not only is everyone pushing you to monetize your content, people are always pushing you to do all the trends and pulling you away from who you actually are within your own content creation. I think we all kind of have that fear of falling behind when we're not constantly creating content because we see people who have probably some teams behind them that are constantly posting content, constantly posting like 10 videos a day, 6 YouTube videos a week. And we feel like, oh my God, like if they can do it, then I can't do it. And so I must not be good at content creation because everyone else is doing way more than me. And then that brings us to the burnout cycle, where I think most of us have been before with content creation or anything creative at all, where we are trying to pump out productivity with whatever we're creating, and we end up burning ourselves out to the point where we can't even create anymore. That initial spark and excitement got burned to the ground with this idea that you need to keep creating more and more and more. Have you ever felt like you had to keep creating just because like you had to post something, but you really weren't enjoying it? I know I've been there where I simply was like, oh no, like I need to post something, even though I haven't posted in like 3 days. I need to get something out there. I need to create something, even though like that's not coming from like my creative place or like coming from like my own thoughts. It's literally coming from like this like stressed mindset of like, I just need to post something, but it's not coming from a place of like, I want to post this thing. I want to create this thing. I think for me, when I realized that this way of being a creator isn't going to work for me is after I created a bunch of reels, I had a lot of fun creating all these reels. I batch created like 60 or 70 reels, and I had fun creating it. Like the actual act of creating it and putting the plan together and recording it and editing it and being done with it was great. But I think my expectations were probably really high for the content. But at the same time, because I didn't just have fun sharing it, I was expecting a result from it. It made me burn out. It made me feel like, damn, like I just did all that for no reason. And I forgot how happy I was when I was literally just creating the content. So clearly pushing yourself to just to create isn't going to help you in the fucking long run. Hustle culture means that you are going to follow the traditional path. And there's nothing traditional about being an artist or being a creative. It's actually against the norm to be an artist or be a creative. That's why so many art programs are taken out of school. That's why everybody looks down on you if you have an art degree, because it is not the norm to be a creative. Creation culture, on the other hand, is building a life that works for you. And I think that is a goal that everyone should have, especially if you are an artist, especially if you're a creative, if you make music, if you paint. You want your life to basically mesh together with your creative expression. You don't want to feel like, oh, I need to paint from 2 to 3 o'clock, and if I don't, then I'm a failure. You want to get into this like creative flow state where you are ready to paint at any moment, any time, any day. And that's how you get into that creative flow state, by being so open to creation that you can do it multiple times a day, all the time, every day. Like you become obsessed with creating. The whole hustle culture behind creation leads to burnout, because all you're doing is focusing on like the productivity of your content. You're not really putting like your heart and your soul into it, and you're not feeling good about every single post that you're making, because you are stuck in this mindset that I just need to post something, I just need to create something, I'm going to be behind. Like it's this whole like stress mindset. Like you can't be an artist if you are in this like lack mindset and this stress mindset. It doesn't work together. Creation culture flows naturally. It allows creativity to be sustainable and fulfilling. I know for me, sometimes I feel like under pressure, I can create more. But when is the last time you actually were under pressure and you were able to create something amazing that you fully loved? Like, yes, it's possible. I don't want to say it's impossible to do that, but you need to be in a relaxed mindset in order to be a creator. And I really don't think hustle culture is made to make you be a creator. And this, I don't know what I'm talking about. Give me a second here. Let me gather my thoughts. So when was the last time you felt completely in the flow of creating? Like you didn't have any pressure on you. You were enjoying the entire process. You weren't stressed about, I need to make 10 videos about this. When was the last time that happened to you? I know for me, that happens when I'm literally laying on the couch and I'm like, I'm going to edit this video. And I have so much fun just editing some random video in CapCut while I'm laying with my dog. And there's not all this like extra pressure on it to be perfect. And even if the video doesn't do good, which most of mine don't on like smaller platforms or anywhere yet, I still am enjoying it. Like I'm not feeling this pressure to constantly be creating things that I don't care about. The way you're going to shift from hustle culture to creative culture is, for one, you are going to look at what you're doing right now and reset. Step back and be honest with yourself. How much can you actually realistically create? How much do you want to realistically create? How open do you want to be about creation? A lot of creativity is going to put you in a vulnerable position, because that's just what being creative is. Like you're expressing yourself, you're expressing feelings, emotions, old memories, new feelings. It's a vulnerable position to be in. So you have to decide, how much am I willing to open up? And how do I want to open up? Because you don't have to go and put out all your business on the internet. But if you are sharing certain messages or pieces of certain messages, you have to decide, like, how much am I going to actually share during this? And are you going to be creating from passion or productivity? Like, are you creating things that you actually give a shit about? Are you talking about things you actually give a shit about? Because if you put yourself into that hustle culture mindset, a lot of the time you start creating things that you do not care about. I like working out, but I don't care about telling girls how to grow big glutes. It's just not my thing. I don't know why I tried to shove myself into that box where I could do like workout routines. Like maybe if I feel like, throwing some clips together of me at the gym, and then on top of that, sharing a message that I actually really care about. Maybe that was like going through my head while I was working out. That's completely different. But I know for myself that I am not a glute guru, and I don't care about telling you how to get a six-pack because I don't even fucking have one. So what do you actually want to create and share with the world? Like actually, not what other people are sharing, not the style, the format that other people are sharing. It's good to get inspiration, but what do you actually want to create? And no, I'm not saying look at all the viral trends, even though the point of viral trends is for you to take it and do it yourself. Don't fall in this trap where all the things that you're creating are just some viral trends. Because you're going to burn out, you're not going to get results, and then you're going to be mad at yourself for wasting time at being a content creator and not fucking loving it. One thing you should be doing as a creative is writing down some goals. I know that a lot of people say to write down goals, but it does help you at least have some sort of vision to where you are going, and that way it's not just completely aimless. For example, for me, I don't have a goal to work with a gym brand, right? So, like I said a second ago, I won't be making content that is specific to trying to get some sort of partnership with gym brand clothing. But what I do like to do is use my cameras, try out new lenses. So maybe I have a goal of working with like Sony or some other camera brand. It's just a good thing to like try to keep in mind, and it will even help you with your content creation to have little goals in place. I know girls that like to do a lot of beauty and skincare things. They're like, I want to partner with these brands. So that's like at their goal, that's like at the top of their goal list. So naturally, they're going to pump out content for those things. It's just good to have like a couple goals set. Even if you feel like maybe they're really out of reach, it can still help you get to where you want to get to with your content creation. I know some of your goals are probably to like monetize and make money on social media. I think that's everybody's like biggest goal, is to be paid from social media. That's one of mine too. But it's good to keep in mind smaller goals leading up to that moment where you might monetize. Maybe becoming like consistent on like a YouTube channel, or having a consistent filming day, or having a consistent day where like you brainstorm. I think a lot of those things are like stepping stones to get to that milestone of being monetized. Like, what if you did monetize tomorrow? Does your content like stand up to the other content creators that are also monetized? You can be monetized, but you need to kind of have a system set in place for your creativity. Otherwise, I think like the pressure of being monetized will also get to you, and you'll be like, oh my God, nothing's good enough, da 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 da. But instead you could just be like, oh yeah, I have like a little strategy that I could follow while I'm having a panic attack. The fact that I just became monetized on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. You just have to let go of the pressure that you're not enough and that you need to keep up with everybody else around you. Most content creators, like I said, have teams behind them, at least the big content creators. So those are not people that you should be comparing yourself to if you're a one-man team. You just need to work on being a creative person by yourself, because I bet you're just creating content by yourself. Being an artist will always be going against the norm. You can't force mother fricker. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna have a panic attack. Okay. Being an artist is always going against the norm. You cannot force creativity into the hustle culture box. So stop waiting for permission and just create. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for listening to the whole video. I have been shoving myself into the hustle culture box and not being in my creative flow state. That's kind of what inspired this video. And a lot of what's inspiring my content lately is I am just allowing myself to be a creator. I don't want to be in boxes that I don't belong in. I don't want to create things that I don't want to create. I want to do things that make me happy. And that's not even just content, but just in my life as well. So that's kind of like the basis for this video and where this even came from. But I am curious, what's one small thing that you can do today to take yourself out of that hustle culture box and into that creative culture flow? Drop a comment down below. I'd love to see, I love to know what other creatives are doing. I like to sing. I like to make videos. I like to edit. I like to write. I like to make music. And those are kind of like my creative things. I love hearing from people who paint, who draw, who also make videos, who also create content. I think all creatives are just as important as the next creative. I think we all just need to keep creating. And hopefully with me talking and yapping about telling you to be more creative, it gets you out of your comfort zone. You continue to share and create, because I'm dying to see it. I know a lot of other people are dying to see it. You just haven't reached the right people yet. You just have to keep creating. And that's on that. No overthinking, just creating. No more hustle culture, creative culture flow. Okay? I love how I started talking better towards the end of it. I don't know why I kept like stuttering over my fucking words. It's okay. Shit happens. God, my back. I feel like that's good. And we're out.